Hello traders, and welcome back to another market update. Today we're going to be taking a look at the currency market, seeing what's moving, what's not, and we'll talk a little bit about the technicals, so let's dive into it right now. So we're taking a look here first of all at EURUSD. EURUSD is coming down to a level right now that is very interesting. It's actually the 1.1 level, 1.1000 level. And what we see is price is actually kind of looking like it wants to test this area potentially as a bullish support. You can notice here that historically this level held twice actually as a very bullish zone of support. It looked like price wanted to, you can see we're looking at the daily chart right now, it looks like price wanted to make a bounce here yesterday, but it now looks like price is coming back and retesting for a second try on this supportive level right at the 1.1 level. Question will be, can we hold this level as a supportive level? And if so, where would we be headed next? Well, to me, one target would be, if we did hold this, would be this structure zone here. You can see it's a very pivotal moment in the price action history where price has been responding to this level quite a bit. So if price were to bounce, my idea would be it could make a move back up to here. And in fact, I think that there's probably a better chance that we get some sort of a bounce off of this level than just breaking through. If we do, however, decide to break through, my major level of interest would be in this zone down here, kind of between the 1.0926 and the 1.08940. This area here would be, to me, a bigger level of potential targeting if sellers maintain their control. But again, my first bias in this area is probably going to be bullish just because this supportive level has been very strong historically, and we are kind of in a back and forth market right now with EURUSD. Again, I want to say though that if I'm wrong about that, if I don't see a bounce here and we do break through, the major zone that I think we could see next would be a move down to that recent bottom low. That's just kind of my analysis there. And again, if we bounce, I think a good target personally would be a shorter term level here. Also, we do have this kind of downward trend line on EURUSD to think about as well, right? So that's something that could get retested along the way. So that's EURUSD. Let's move on to pound dollar here. Pound dollar continuing to slip to the downside. Looks like we want to break out of this kind of pattern that we've seen on pound dollar. You can see if we draw this trend line, it looks like price wants to try and break through here to the downside. If price were to break lower, we could see the continuation even down further. If we actually draw this longer term fib from the low there to the high on our technicals, it could be possible. Right now we're testing a 38.2. It could be possible that we make a slip down to the next level, which would be 50%. And then of course, if we started breaking structure here, I think that we could even continue lower than that. But that's another story for another day. We'll see if that can decide to play out. Big thing right now on pound dollar is watching this trend line, in my opinion, to see if it can break lower. Of course, we have the same on the top. We have this kind of wedge formation right now. And I'm kind of looking at this thinking that we could be breaking to the downside of this wedge. Something that would kind of assure that would be a nice move to the downside, looking for the retest, and to me a great opportunity to look to get short. That's my own opinion there. Of course, make your own trading decisions at the end of the day, but that's kind of what I see there on pound dollar going forward. Next up is dollar yen. Let's talk about this pair, which is kind of on the rise here from its bottom down here. When we gapped open, we made a move lower down to this point, and now looking like price wants to fill that gap and potentially continue higher. Not too much else to say about this. You can see we're kind of just chattering to the upside there on dollar yen. So we'll see if we can make a move back and fill that gap. That's kind of my short-term outlook on dollar yen. Gold is next, and gold is acting crazy as per usual. You can see we did make another spike to the upside that quickly kind of reversed here off of the top. Question being here will be, are we going to put in a lower high officially? Right, so if we see another move to the downside, that would be considered, in my opinion, kind of a lower high, and that could lead to further downside on gold. But on the contrary, right, we also have this very strong overall bullish market on gold. So it's important to at least consider the ideas that pullbacks could be in play somewhere along the way. We also have this trend line to consider, right? A move back to this level might be an interesting one to look out for on gold for potential continuation in this crazy bullish trend that we do see, which may or may not be finished. We will see, but my bias remains bullish overall. Brent crude here looking pretty interesting. You can see we broke out of this structure that we had been watching for a long time. We broke bearish and really erased some serious gains on oil recently with all this stuff going on. Now, where are we going next? Well, I think we have some interesting areas down here that price may want to retest, right? We could be headed down to here. From there, my bias would be that we could see a bounce, as this is a long-term low, and we've been in kind of an overall choppy back and forth environment for oil, and I think that we could see some sort of bounce. WTI crude probably going to be the same concept. The lows down here being something that I'll be watching to see if price can tag. Euro pound is our next one here. Euro pound, if we draw this trend line, you can see is actually really interesting right now with this trend line. You can see that we were respecting this on the sell side, sell side, sell side. We broke above, and now it looks like maybe price wants to make a move in the opposite direction, as we look like right now we're holding this supportive level. So that would be my idea there. Where are some potential ideas of where price could go? Well, I like this level here, as it kind of put in a little nice little structure of resistance, and of course longer term, maybe this level here. Right, so those are a couple of levels that I see there on euro yen. If we draw a fib real quick, long term, right, you actually see that the 61.8, I'm sorry, the 50% level lines up very nicely with this level we just mentioned, which might be an interesting thing to look out for. Next up is dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss making a nice rally as the dollar gains strength against a weakening Swiss franc, I believe. We're seeing a lot of bearishness there. If we draw a fib from this one too, we could actually see some interesting levels line up. I do like the idea here of this zone here, right? This kind of zone right here could be an interesting one to watch. This was a historical level of support right here, support. We broke through, and now price may want to retest it on the bear side to see if it can hold. Last one is Aussie dollar, which has been extremely bearish in the last several days. You can see we've just kind of fallen off a cliff lately with this pair, and now you can see we are coming into some levels of support that may catch a bounce. We can see this level here. We also have, of course, the long-term low to look out for to see if price wants to bounce off of these lower levels. So we'll see. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you got something out of it, and we will see you back next time.